Clam. Was that too early of an intro? Because I didn't have the screen up.
You are fine. In the bottom right, in the red, he's playing for Berserker Esports, looking to move to a swift 2-0. It's BattleB.
It's pretty good.
Or, you believe Rotterdam.
Or
his name is Battle Booty.
Battle Booty. I see. Can't confirm or deny that he is Battle Booty. What does being Battle Booty entail?
I have no idea. I just BattleB is one of Roddy's kids, all right? So he goes and he's got his funky names for all of them. If Roddy's co-streaming right now, I don't know. I'm sure he's gonna provide a lot of context, but you know, for now, we gotta talk about a TVT, cats. We gotta talk about how Reapers clearly have the Battle Booty to them. Is that how that works?
Reapers clearly have the Battle Booty to them. Yeah, let's go with that. Why not? But yeah, both players are going to be going for early gases here. BattleB, one of the strongest up-and-comers, I think, in the EU region in general, right? Like a very strong player that's getting better and better over time. Still relatively young as well. And on the other side, one of the players that has kind of like has had like the strongest meteoric rise in the scene, perhaps alongside with Max Packs, meaning, you know, they kind of just rocketed to the top like so very fast. So a prodigy of sorts in Clem. It's going to be tough for BattleB, but not undoable, as Mapu was telling us. BattleB just recently played an insane game against Bjorn.
Didn't win though. That's the important thing.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
you don't believe he? Yeah.
Moral
Maybe
victories,
he won
right?
in his heart. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah. So the other thing we have to talk about is, you know, does he get close to Bjorn? Are Bjorn and Clem or Bjorn and Clem are the equivalent of TVT? Is Bjorn better? Is BattleB better? Whatever. Clem and BattleB are playing both on Europe. BattleB playing Bjorn is always going to be on NA. There's going to be a little bit more ping there. Does it favor anyone? I don't know, but certainly for right now we do have that. So as we take a look at things, right, BattleB, he's got a bunch of Reapers. He's reactoring out Reapers in this early game. This should give him some aggressive potential if it's going to work out. Clem playing a little bit more defensively. He's got his 2 Reapers, certainly, but he's going to have to Cyclone as well. Although, cats, as we get into the mid game here, or the later early game, Cyclones are not as impactful as they once were. This is not the last patch where you just build Cyclones and you're fine and they kill everything. They have a lock-on time now. They're not nearly as good.
Yeah, for sure. But in this small numbers of unit skirmishes, then the lock-on is going to be plenty fine. I think that this is pretty much both players just getting set up in defensive postures, with BattleB making a lot of units. So if Clem was to cross the map, then BattleB would have an opportunity to run him down basically on the way back. So cool approach from him. But yeah, it's not going to amount to anything. It's just going to be a good old chill zone in the early game here.
I think if we talk about who this favors, right, I think this is, if you're playing the chill early game, I think that favors Clem. But BattleB, of course, 3 Hellions, 5 Reapers. This is something that you want to get something done with. Although, as we talk about chill early games and getting stuff done, I mean, Clem has a tank now. This attack's going to run up. It's going to eat a tank shell. And it's going to be like, I don't want this. This hurts. I'm going to try to make something happen. But no, it hurts. It's not worth doing. BattleB is going to be forced to back up here. Clem, they lose something, right? But this is certainly something that's going to be a lot more expensive for BattleB than it really ever was for Clem.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like double as much, right? 400 resources lost on the side of BattleB compared to Clem, and he's also behind in terms of like the tank tech and whatnot. So Clem very likely to have a very strong push at some point here with the greater tank numbers. He's going to use those tank numbers as well to anchor himself and get himself a very fast third base. So yeah, I would say he's in a very comfortable position. I do love what BattleB is doing, taking the third on location though, kind of saying like, I hope that you drop your own third with this advantage that you just got, like with the fact that, you know, like I still kind of have map control, but not really a right to it. So I'm gonna drop my my third on location. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, we talked about BattleB looking better and better. He won an ace match at the WTL today. Code A, as he tries to qualify Berserker to that Code S, which is awesome. But like, he's been looking better and better. We talked about how he didn't win a game versus Beyond, but looked really solid. He's still the underdog. You know, so this is one of those setups where BattleB, he's the underdog. He has to do whatever he can to eke out these small advantages. Whether it's aggression, it didn't really work out here. Whether it's aggression, whether it's third base on location, whether it's rushing into late game faster, if we get that far, whatever it is, eking out these small advantages, because again, you know you're the underdog, and you have to go and make it a little bit harder for Clem. A straight up game is probably going to be a Clem victory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the same time, Clem is the type of player that wants to out-multitask you, so the fact that he is kind of playing passive in some sense, I think, is not the worst thing for a player going up against Clem, right? Because trading actions against a player as precise and as fast as Clem is always a difficult thing to do. So, you know, if Clem sits back for too long and just kind of doesn't make use of the incredible abilities that he has on the micro multitasking front, maybe that can be a blessing in disguise for BattleB. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence in some sense. Who knows?
And by the way, talking about how good BattleB's been looking recently, we talked about, he got the WTL Code A ace match. It's important to point out, by the way, who he beat. Just to be clear here, cats, this is not him beating, I don't know, Spatz or something, which also is fair because Spatz and BattleB are on the same team, but like it's not like him beating B-tier European. He beat Creator in the ace match 1-0. I don't know what happened in that game, but that's a solid warm-up, right? I mean, Creator is a very good PvT player. Now, granted, that's not this matchup, and Clem, he's getting ready to move out. That's a lot of Marines. It's a lot of tanks. It's a ton of Ravens. He has interference matrix. Can BattleB hold on against this?
Let's look at his army. Let's look at his army map to see if he can hold on, and I'm gonna say no. What do you think? It looks tough. It looks tough for sure. Look at that amount of tanks. There's so many Ravens. I do like the little counter attack, but good pull there from Clem of the SCVs to make sure. Oh, Clem just shot his own Raven. They almost killed it, so maybe there is yet hope. I'll do that a couple more times.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, oh, great shutdowns there. Shuts down a tank, shuts down a Raven, so his tanks are going to last a little bit longer. But now here comes Clem. And yeah, he has bought a little bit of time. Stim's done, tank gets shut down. There's a second one here, sitting on the edge of tank range. The Marines are. Another tank's going to fall down, and you kind of need your tank's defense. So with two tanks dead, another one interfered all the way down to Clem. This pressure is looking really solid. Anti-armor missile as well. I mean, these armies cannot fight. Now backside, the Ravens are going to try to get on top of this. SCVs have to get pulled here. But there is not a lot doing. Clem, he macros up hard, he hits his timings, and BattleB falls down in game one.
Yeah, that was a little rough. I mean, a difficult early game for sure. And that battle, I mean, I didn't really quite understand it. Like the interference matrix onto the Raven and the tank in the backline. Like, I'm not sure what that was accomplishing because nothing was in range of anything at that point. But Clem does get to the tanks and eventually makes use of his bio. So his tanks didn't really contribute there. Like, there was no leapfrogging or anything like that to snipe the tanks of BattleB via the Ravens. But instead, it was the bio that capitalized, and that was cool in itself. But that was a little awkward of an exchange for me when the Raven just kind of interference matrices another Raven and a tank, and then you know, almost nothing happened there for a sec.
I mean, I get what he was trying to go for, right? Where you go and the enemy Ravens run forward, you hit them with your interference matrix. So even if one or two matrices go off, not every one of your tanks is getting shut down, and then you can make it a little bit asynchronous, and some are shut down or some are not, and like, you buy time, you get yourself your third tank, you get yourself your fourth tank, you get 1-1 maybe. You're trying to buy time. And I understand the idea, but I'm with you, cats. We looked at that army come out of Clem on the other side of the map, and it's like, you got 2 more tanks, you got equal Raven count, you got more bio, your upgrades are faster. This feels like a really hard hold for BattleB, and just the downside of committing to as many Reapers as he committed to early on. We do have a second game, cats. Maybe there's another opportunity for. I
haven't seen it.
BattleB.
You're loaded. It's not available for me anymore. So.
Oh, did you not get into game?
I suppose I did not.
Well, you have my feed, right?
I have your feed, kind of, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I can see us on the camera, but I don't see the game. But I think when we go into the game, I'll see it. Oh, nice. I see.
There we go. In the upper left, in the red, too many Reapers, not enough gas, a little bit too slow on his timings. Maybe he can do it in game 2. It's BattleB.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side playing for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And yeah, definitely playing a pretty conservative game last time around. Not really looking to poke too much into BattleB or trade actions early on. So we'll see if he changes the pace for this one.
Yeah, I want you to talk to me a little bit about this map, Cats. Amphion really feels like a weird TVT map. The natural is massive. It's so big. There's all this dead airspace. It's not even really dead airspace, but it's kind of island space, right? With the rocks and the mineral patches you have to mine out.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it as you narrate. Let's look at the layout here.
So again, that massive natural, you have the minerals there that you kind of have to mine through. Otherwise, it can be weird sieged up positions and kind of staging areas and things. It feels like there's this Reaper Cliff that is easy to forget about. It's a really weird map.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Maybe there is some strategy that can be abused here. I think PVC, it's a rather interesting map, and yeah, a lot of it can be about the expansion patterns as well, because the minerals do open up for that third base. But then if both players choose to take those third bases, all of a sudden you're basically sieging each other already, right? So yeah, I think it can be a very interesting map. I imagine both players are probably gonna expand away, because players in StarCraft 2, like, I don't know, they tend to be on the safer side of things, usually on the standard side of things. But I would love it if both players expanded towards each other here. That would be the dream.
Yeah, that'd be a wild game. When I look at Amphion, honestly, it kind of feels like Blackburn to me, just rotated 90 degrees. Granted, Blackburn main base to the, I guess we'll call it the north side base here, wasn't quite as accessible. You had to go like down a ramp and up again. But kind of that very similar setup where you have this map and this base in the middle that is sectioned off by something, and it kind of turns to be a really important base as the game goes later. And I don't know, it feels like Blackburn. Plus, you know, you have a Angry Face or a Galaga Alien on the right side.
I don't see it.
Rotate that.
You have to rotate your head to see this.
Yeah, rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then the two diagonal single mineral patches are Angry Eyebrows.
I can I can see it like an angry cow type thing, or what are you looking at here? It's like an angry, like an angry cow sticking its tongue out.
Angry cow, angry ant. I don't know.
Okay, I can see it. I think.
Anyways, Clem here, much earlier starport than BattleB is going for. He's got a very quick medevac. So, Cats, do you remember the last meta? We had cyclone drops all over the place, and Clem just dominated every Terran because his multitasking, his pickup micro on these cyclones was incredible. Well, you know what? We're going to try it again. Yeah, cyclones are not as good as they once were, but he's still going to go for it. 2 cyclones and a medevac. Reapers on the other side of the map as well, running across. How much do you think Clem gets done here?
I think he's going to kill 7 SCVs and 2 Marines. What about you?
I'm going to go with 8 SCVs and 1 Marine. Just because, you know, you got to play the over-under. For now, though, it's only two SCVs, but the Reapers actually are getting just as much as the Cyclones did. Cyclones are distracting, and they're going to get a third. 5 SCVs go down, 3 of them to the Reapers. We talked about the Cyclone drops. It's not the Cyclone drops, right? It's those Reapers.
Well, it is, right? Yeah, I mean, if the Cyclone drops weren't happening, then those Reapers wouldn't really have an opportunity to win. So it's all of it for sure. And everything's still very healthy for Clem as well, right? So he great retention here. He barely took any damage on the Cyclones either. And it's 6 SCVs. Need just 1 more and 2 Marines.
So here's a question.
That's all we need.
If we get to 8 SCVs and 0 Marines, does that... Or if it's 7 SCVs and 1 Marine, who is closer? I'm 1 off on the SCVs, you're 1 off on the Marines. Which matters more?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a tough one. We'll have to wait and see what happens, and then, you know, adjust to make sure I win.
There we go. Although I think you are closer right now. 6 is closer to 7, and actually, I guess 1 is closer to 0 than 2. I don't know. Anyways, math is hard. We're not going to do it. Drop's going to show up. Does a mule count as an SCV? There's your 7.
Counts as an SCV and a Marine, which makes it perfect for me.
No Marine has died yet. No Marine has died yet.
Yeah, but a mule died. A mule counts for a Marine as well. Yeah.
All right. Okay, fine. fine, we'll give it to you.
Perfect prediction. Yeah.
This is significant damage, right? 7 SCVs going down, knocking down a mule that was, it wasn't a fresh one, it was 50%, but knocking that down is pretty nice. And Cats, I think you're gonna have your wish. We're mining out the double wall. Looks like Clem wants to expand northwards.
Yeah, I like it from Clem, right? But now BattleB is going to be hard-pressed to justify something like this because he just took damage. He still should look to mine that, though, because like you were saying, otherwise that's going to be a very annoying siege position that you can basically abuse. So he is mining it, but I doubt he'll be, you know, relocating there.
Yeah, and the downside, or I guess the upside, we talk about this position as kind of the staging ground that can be so. Oh, he's going to do it. Hell, Cats. Mr. Prognosticator, or Nostracatmus? Is that how that works? That
is how that works.
All right.
I mean, it's happening, but yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this looks so difficult for BattleB to try to defend this position, right? Like to try to be the aggressor right now. If both players were even, I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. But right now, I mean, he did take a lot of damage from those cyclones.
He did, and I was gonna say, yeah, the worker count, it's like 3. It's not that big of a deal, but now that this third base is all mining, the single marine is here. Is it gonna get another? It's not gonna get an SCV. Thought about it, but because the third base was down a little bit, it's now a 9 worker lead. So 3 manageable. 9 to 10 feels really, really bad. And now look at this. They're your dead marines, Cats. Congratulations, you won the bet before the rest of the marines died. So
insane.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more damage, time over time. Although we do have to talk about, this is still a high ground position that BattleB has. This is still a decently sieged up position. And we got to talk about how quickly this second fact, Clem's going mech.
What a guy.
What a, Clem, the master of bio, the man who just multitasks the hell out of everyone, is playing mech in a TVT.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's pretty powerful. He has a ton of tanks as well, and the Ravens as well. So he's sending a Marine in front. He scouts that there's only 2 tanks on the high ground. They're gonna get interference matrix, presumably just now not even needed, as he gets air control for the vision. And BattleB will reposition at a nice arc. Will be very difficult for Clem to breach here without getting those interference matrices. But if he does, he can get a very strong position as the first one goes out. We're gonna start the leapfrog here. Biomov looks very, very hard for BattleB.
It does. And remember, not only is this interference matrix powerful, can shut down all the tanks, but also it's 9 tanks to 3 or whatever it is right now. Like the airport, the ground power, I guess, that Clem has is kind of untouchable to the point where BattleB, this orbital has to lift. He's gonna go for it right now. He's gonna try to run down the ramp. Good shutdown coming in from the side. Look at that. That is massive here. The tanks, they're not going to be able to fire. BattleB, does he have enough before the shutdown's end? He's going to get on top of everything. Vikings are going to have to land here. What a shutdown from BattleB. My goodness, Cats. He sweeps everything up. And now at this point, what are we looking at? It's 2 tanks on the other side. Can he? I don't think he wins the game here right now, but he certainly equalizes.
Right now, I'd be yelling. I want to be yelling right now, Biomov. That was insane. I mean, that was so freaking crazy from BattleB. What a cool composure there. I mean, he could have had the opportunity to maybe like start mitigating for the tank advancement before from Clem, right? Like he could have used those interference matrices to be like, okay, I have 3 tanks that can fire, like I can interference matrix one of your tanks here, and so on and so forth. But when it comes down to it, like if he took that approach, he wouldn't have had the massive shutdown and allowed for his bio instead to do the job a little bit later down the line. So very cool, calm and composed from BattleB, and knowing how to take the engagement as well. A little bit easier sometimes to interference matrix the tanks at the front, but he went all the way behind Clem here to make sure that he was getting the backline, which is much more difficult to run towards with the bio, right? So even the flank and the choices there and the execution, it was all perfect here from BattleB. What a cool play.
Now this is a little bit awkward though. That drop you sent 4 medevacs in with like a grand total of 5 Marines and 5 Marauders, just really not 4 medevacs worth, right? So kind of an awkward drop that attacked the front, gets 12 SCVs, but also trades out a little bit. BattleB's attempt to take advantage of this aggression is feeling a little bit weird. He's not able to quite do what he would like off this timing. But for now, again, he's got his 4th base on the way. Medevac, 2 tanks go down inside.
Oh.
That's not what you're looking for, BattleB. And by the way, Armory is incredibly late. He gets this incredible fight. Sure, fine. There's no 2-2 on the way. He's adding in 3 additional barracks. Fantastic. He's not going to have this 2-2 timing. He's not going to have this 3-3 timing. Clem is actually going to get ahead on upgrades a little bit, which feels pretty rough. And these Vikings, BattleB, he's committing more into ground. He's adding 3 additional barracks. Although, he's going to get any of these Vikings. No, he hits the rocks.
He hits the...
Oh, man. I mean, I understand you want to knock the rocks down. It's another attack pattern, certainly. But, like, the Vikings are there. Kill the Vikings.
I guess, yeah. He hits the rocks. It was bait too, right? There's tanks looking to protect those Vikings in the high ground. So I think if BattleB had gone for them, then this might have happened. I'm not sure that this is the play right now. There are no Ravens this time around. It is a huge spread of tanks from them, but not enough on the front actually. So BattleB will crash on through. The Vikings are slow to land as well to provide any sort of buffer. And BattleB seems to be doing a great job on the cleanup here. I mean, the supplies are still relatively even, but BattleB with a very, very strong position.
It is a strong position, but Clem is building a ton of tanks at a time, building a ton of Vikings at a time. The reinforcement rally from BattleB is a little bit slow. And by the way, we talked about economic hits. Clem's up on workers, right? He's got his 4th base. He's still in a pretty solid economic position, even as BattleB continues to sweep him from the 3rd, continues to get that damage done. The eye test says this is really good for BattleB, right? You look at the fights, that incredible fight around BattleB's 3rd base, breaking him down right here, killing 10, 12 SCVs here or there. Like, the eye test says, wow, this is incredible. And then you look at the product, then you look at the supply, then you look at the upgrades, then you look at everything else. You look at how much BattleB has lost, and you're like, is it though? Clem is doing a really good job of surviving.
He is doing a very good job of surviving for sure. BattleB still on the offense here. He could find an opportunity perhaps over on this side of the map, which is exactly what he's looking for. So this is really nice for him, right? Like, because Clem has been surviving by consolidating and like basically putting all of his army in the same locations and clusters, and BattleB now spreading a little bit wider onto the map, and that's kind of what you want to do with Bio. You want to hit where the mech is not. So great job there, sniping a command center.
Works out well. Works out for him pretty dang nicely. And now, well, there's another command center on the way, but this one already, I don't know if we can call it Bio, but, you know, roughly sieged up upon. Even still, though, BattleB is going to have to back up on this one for the time being. Too many tanks, too many Marine, or too many Vikings.
Nice,
but hey, right up the gullet into the natural. Those tanks, they're +2 tanks. They do 2-shot this stim Bio,
God.
right? That's the important thing. So, yeah, BattleB thinks he can run on top and say, look, great, undefended tanks. The tanks are defended by the tanks, BattleB, and that's not good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what he did there too, right? Like, he was running basically straight in line, a couple of units soaking up the initial shots and whatnot, but unable to get the position. It was like, you know, one less tank there, and all of a sudden BattleB breaches through that area, because it was just like maybe like 3 tanks just shelling away at that Bio, and that was, yeah, maybe one too many. But BattleB is still in a playable position here. Clem, like you said, has been doing a great job of stabilizing and whatnot, but BattleB with 3-3 on the way, with a pretty good basically map spread here, like getting economy all over the place, and continuing to try to keep Clem on his toes and pinned back. So it's doable. I like this game. It's a fun one.
It is a fun one. I gotta say, I'm really surprised. So when you play Bio versus Mech, you generally want to have the bigger economy. You want to you're not going to trade efficiently. Certainly not what tanks have +2. I mean, this is a scary thing to fight into. The Vikings are going to land. They're going to buffer for the tanks. Although he's going to clear right on through it anyways with that 2-2 timing. And the drop as well in the main base is getting a lot done. Clem once again on the back foot here. I don't know that he can break the battle or the planetary all that quickly. These tanks, they only have +1.
This looks good.
But
I mean, it looks insanely good though.
Yeah.
And he knows as well that there's another base exposed to the right-hand side here. He does drop on top of a few tanks that, unluckily for him, are already unsieged. And now Clem looking for a little bit of a pincer maneuver here with tanks on either side. And without vision, without Vikings or superiority on the side of BattleB, he's going to have to disengage.
What I was going to say, though, is you talk about, again, Bio player generally wants to out-trade. They're going to build more bases. They're going to have a bigger economy. BattleB's been on 69 SCVs for, I mean, it's nice, but he's been on a low economy for quite a while, even as he builds these bases. Wow. That's beautiful, though, to knock those tanks down. Getting maybe a couple more down the ramp. You don't want to do that. That hurts. So he's going to have to run back up into the main base. I'd love to see him, there we go, knock the add-ons down, deny any sort of tank production, things like that. So again, the drop's going to get rebuffed, but not before he gets 3 or 4 tanks, knocks some add-ons down. But BattleB only being on
No, that was
70
huge.
SCVs feels like he could have so much more.
Yeah, but at the expense of how aggressive he's been, right? It's not like he's not spending his money, so this is getting him a lot of momentum time and time again, and it's allowing for these plays that we see all over the place. So it is very much by design and by choice, and he might be able to make it work right now. This looks amazing for BattleB.
Yeah, it does. You're gonna knock the fourth,
nice.
third base down, I guess. He's gonna knock that planetary. He does heavy damage to the orbital. It's gonna stay alive for the time being. But now, I mean, running down the ramp here, that was a big tank shot. Vikings providing vision, of course, but Clem is just dead.
He's just dead. What a great showing here from BattleB from start to finish here. I mean, he had some opportunities there to go in that backfired, right? Like, to the credit of Clem just being in position and whatnot, but really very, very impressive play from him, being all over the place, like really looking for opportunities. Those drops, you know, like when it's like, okay, I can't find any avenues out on the map, let me do a little drop here and then go to the other side and then run some units in to see what's there. Like really, really, really just keeping Clem on his toes. Like very difficult for the mech player to actually defend every location perfectly. Nearby impossible. And this was off of a difficult opening as well, where Clem did kill 6-7 SCVs, right? Like whatever I predicted, the exact number I predicted, Clem killed. And despite that, like, I mean, BattleB with a comeback effectively, like really, really impressive.
Yeah, it was a really awesome back and forth game, and we get to see it's a new map. That's not the style of TVT we're gonna see on Oceanborn or something. All right, it is certainly this map that you go and it kind of encourages you to go in and play maybe a little bit differently. But we do move to Site Delta for Game 3, Cast. We do move to a map that Clem, BattleB, both you, me, viewers in chat have a lot more experience with, probably. Again, this was in the last pool as well. So the question, the important question here is, do we see mech out of Clem again? Game 2, obviously, he went for it on Amphion. It may be something he thinks good for the map, but do we see it again?
No chance, Jose. All right, like for me, like it's very when you're a player like Clem, right? Like you want to have that range, you want to be able to do everything, and in some cases against opponents, you know, it is BattleB, it is not Maru, right? And I'm not saying BattleB is, you know, bad by any means. He just beat Clem, who can very, very feasibly beat Maru or anyone else, and like literally any player in the world, right? Like it's Clem that we're talking about. So BattleB is an excellent player, but this can be testing grounds for Clem, right? You're one game up, you're not at risk of losing anything. You're up against like you know a player like BattleB, who is up and on the rise, and I don't think that you go like, okay, let me just mech again, because his strengths really lie with the bio and whatnot, right? Like that's where he made his name and his bread and butter, and I think that's kind of like a safe zone for him for the time being.
Yeah, makes sense as well.
Yeah,
talk about
I don't think so. 0%. If he goes for mech, I don't even know the move.
Well, talking about bread and butter, talking about players that maybe are some hungry for some French bread, for some French butter, from Germany in the bottom right, it's BattleB.
What? You flipped it. What? Why did you make the French and in the top left-hand side for players that like mostly kebabs? To be honest, I was in Germany and mostly there was kebabs around, just going all over the place. But if you like kebabs, here is the Frenchman, Clem. That's more or less what your intro was like.
No, Gatsby, you're talking about bio is Clem's bread and butter, right? Well, there is no better bread, arguably. Certainly there's no better butter than French bread, French butter, according to a lot of people. And BattleB, after game number 2, he's hungry. He wants that bread and butter. Okay. He wants to chow down.
I see. I see. So BattleB, or Battle Booty as you call him, he wants to he wants the French bread. Is that it?
Exactly. He wants to get that bread. He wants to get that French bread.
I see. Okay. Well, let's see if he's gonna be able to. I mean, yeah, we made sense of it. It happened, yeah. Clem is gonna be crossing the map with his SC2 scout.
Sorry. You said you're not supposed to laugh at your own jokes. I don't know why I'm dying here, but anyway.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I love it when people laugh like you just did, like some sort of, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on in your mind right now. Like,
Why
I'm
is
just
this
wondering.
funny?
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea, but I find it funny too. It's contagiously funny, the French bread.
You know what? He brings the dough in, cats. Something, I don't know. Regardless, we do have slightly different openings from Clem and BattleB in this game one. Clem going for Reaper Expand, going for a much more standard economic opening. BattleB, he wants to leverage a little bit more aggression, right? This is Barrick's double gas factory into that, or this is Barrick's double gas command. No, yeah, he did get the factory. So Barrick's double gas factory into that command center. That gives you more drop pressure, gives you maybe cyclones earlier on, whatever it is that he wants to go for. But BattleB, again, he wants to open the taps a little bit, kind of maybe flip the script from how game 1 or game 2 went.
Flip the script from how game 2 went for BattleB?
Yeah, right? Clem gets aggressive, gets damage done. And then BattleB
Oh, I
comes
see,
back,
I see,
right?
I see, I
So
see, I see.
flip the early game
I see. Flip the early game script in favor. Okay, because if he flips the script, that would be a bad idea, right? Because he did beat one of the best players in the world just now. And, you know, it's a good script whenever you make a comeback as well. Like, it looks extra good, right? Because then it's not like, oh, yeah, like he was ahead from the beginning type thing. Like, that's not a thing. It's more like he took damage and still made it happen just with excellent play through and through. So I do quite like the script, but I can see, yeah, in the early game, we would definitely want to do a little bit better here if you're BattleB. So...
yeah, you flip the script thing early game, then you tear it up. You don't have a script anymore.
Tear it up.
There we go. Actually, this is important, by the way. Talking about bread and butter, German bread, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, German bread's better than French bread." Look, I'm speaking from the American perspective. People think about, you know, croissant, baguette, and whatever, and they say, "Oh, yeah, French bread."
I see.
The important thing here,
Mapu was kind of saying, Mapu defending of all people. He's saying if you think, yeah, you need to come to Europe if you think German people want French bread.
Yeah, no, German people. I'm speaking from the American perspective here, but more importantly, I realized why this works. I'm just channeling an SCV, and they say something about like butter bomb biscuit. All right, so this is just how I'm channeling my Terran player. But
I'll tell you the truth though. Like I was in Brussels and Netherlands and Germany, like in small bits and portions. I gotta say, like Netherlands is where it's at. The bread, the food, everything. That's where it's at. You know, like European people watching from anywhere outside the Netherlands, you should move to the Netherlands. It's so beautiful.
There's a reason that you know, we've been seeing Rainer showing up there. You know, we got there's like a decent StarCraft 2 enclave in the Rotterdam area.
There is, yeah. Well, all over the place here on the right side of the Netherlands, I guess. Right south, I got to see Harstem and Skillis and Kelleser. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch Roddy, but yeah, I know Euthermal's around there as well. So yeah, definitely a nice StarCraft hub over there.
And certainly when we talk about Euthermal, we have our first random player in ESL Masters in...
What a beast.
Since Balloon, maybe, playing in a competitive tournament?
Maybe, yeah, Balloon. Wow, that's a throwback.
My insanity is
Balloon is from, yeah.
We should probably talk...
Yeah, Balloon's way back in the day for sure. So it's been quite a while since we've had a random qualify for anything, really.
Pretty sick, although he is sitting at 0-1, so there is that. But we should probably talk about this game that's getting started a little bit. It's been a pretty standard one, right, thus far, but we do see some differences, right? BattleB delaying his 1-1 upgrades just a little bit. Reaper tries to get on. He's going to delay the extra barracks. Yeah, he dies, but here's the thing, cats. That one extra Marine, those 2 extra Marines spawning 3 seconds later, they're going to unlock a timing for Clem. They're going to allow him to get on the map and sweep BattleB off of it and go from there. But I am, all seriousness, as much as I'm memeing right there, this is how game 1 looks. BattleB, he goes, he plays defensively, doesn't get his third base on location like he did in game 1, but he plays this very standard TVT. Clem runs across the map with Ravens, shuts everything down, kills him. Granted, the tank disparity is not as bad as it once was. It's 3-2. It wasn't quite as bad, but if I'm BattleB, again, we're playing a standard game. That doesn't really spark a ton of joy when we talk about how good Clem is in this matchup.
Yeah, unless you look at the last game. I mean, you gotta look at the last game and be like, that was a caliber of player that can very much contest with the likes of Clem, right? Like on paper, sure not, but today, I mean, it's sure looking like it's anyone's game to me. Like they're keeping up with each other. If you look at the Marine spread on the map, like BattleB is doing the things that need to be done. He's not really slacking. And if we look at his multitasking last game, and not only just the multitasking, but also like the way that he was kind of like, you know, like pulling Clem apart, right? Like by going on the far right and then dropping as close as possible to his own base, and just like the numbers of units that he was using. I mean, that was just a masterclass from BattleB on multi-prong attack and harassment and multitasking. So I'm hopeful this is doable. Hopefully he doesn't die in the next 10 seconds or so.
You know, Cats, I know this is not what you meant, but you said Battle Beyond, and I heard Battle Beyond. And the way he played game number 2, I think that's pretty fair. I love the vision he's got, by the way, as well. He's sending Marines all over the place. Clem moved out with a significant portion of his army on the left side and tries to see if he can get maybe a siege up, because, you know, sieging up down here on the right side of this third base or on the left side of this third base is a scary spot. You can find a lot of value, but BattleB is aware of it. Clem decides to back up. It's not worth it. And now we move on to 4-base setup. 4th command center is on the way. Clem's a little bit faster into his 2-2, but it's like 10 seconds, likely not going to make that big of a difference. And BattleB, we can't really talk about supply leads, Cats. It's all about the tanks. Minor supply leads in TVT don't really tend to show all that much, but he's got himself a 3-6 supply lead, depending on how the macro cycles go. Not a big deal, but he's keeping up.
That was a large intro to not talk about supply lead, so that we could then talk about the supply lead. But yeah, I mean, he's keeping up for sure, right? And in terms of tanks, like you were saying, like Clem has the greater production with 2 at a time at the moment to the 1 of BattleB, but for the time being, they're even at 6. Just until recently, it was like 1 advantage for Clem, but this is very much doable. Like there's still a lot of Raven energy, there's still a lot of positioning that's gonna have to happen. So we'll see how this goes, as BattleB now relocating to the right-hand side to try to take care of this. And a beautiful spread of Marines on the other side, so if we ever switch to his vision, we'll see that he's got nothing to be afraid of, you know, by moving his entire army to the right, and that's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, certainly. The Cyclone should eventually always going to get another SCV. Very nice there. Now, granted, doesn't matter at the end of the day. Not really. But it is fun. That being said, one thing that I was a little bit worried about, BattleB has since solved the problem, is out now moving on the right side. Look at this BattleB trying to get on top of these tanks. He's going to shut down most of them, but the anti-armor missiles are a problem here.
He's doing it.
The tanks aren't firing. He's going to get right on top of everything. BattleB, look at this. Look at this attack. He's going to get on top of everything until the tanks get shut down. Even still, this buys enough time. Most of the tanks get shut down here. Clem.
Oh my God.
It's just the reinforcement.
This was so close.
Is that enough?
I mean, this was great from BattleB. It was so very close. A couple of extra seconds onto those tanks, a couple of better splits on the Marines towards the tail end of that engagement, and I think he could have gotten a full cleanup. The Vikings could have landed a little bit faster. His tanks could have unsieged and start moving a little bit forward faster. But you would have to have, you know, you're asking the guy to have 3 hands. He has only just 2, and with those 2, he did pretty freaking well. And he's looking to do it again. This time around, no Ravens or interference matrices, so those Marines are in a lot of trouble. They're gonna get hot picked up, and wisely BattleB is going to send them over to the other side of the map as well. So looking for a counter attack of his own, Clem is probably going to use this opportunity to try to go deeper into BattleB's 4th, but what a great move here from the German yet again, and Clem not capitalizing just yet via move, so a little bit of free damage here and there.
I mean, it is damage. I don't think it's free. He's lost a decent amount of medevacs. Bio is going to go down. There's really no way for this army to get out. It's going to get pincered. So yeah, BattleB. Oh, okay, go back to high ground, BattleB. He's going to be able to get out. Very nice. I was going to say he's going to get pincered in. Vikings chasing him down. It doesn't really feel like he's going to be able to get out. But BattleB, the modern Houdini, I guess.
Modern Houdini, the man who loaded it medevac.
Exactly.
To avoid the pincer. I mean, that was, yeah, that was definitely a great maneuver. Like, that was a good attempt at a pincer from Clem. You need a 3D pincer for that, right? Like, you need to come from actually 3 angles to cover the high ground, because otherwise, if your opponent has the medevacs, then yeah, they can, yeah, do the thing. But Oh, a lot of bruised up Marines here on the side of Clem, but a beautiful spread allows him to take a good start to this engage. There aren't that many tanks on the right-hand side if BattleB can actually identify that and push everything north right now. Instead, he's going to push everything south, so looking for an entry into the 4th base and completely avoiding this tank line. Gotta be careful there. There's a 4-tank cluster and no more Ravens to be spoken of.
Does have a pretty significant tank lead. He's looking at, last I checked, what is this, 11 to 9? It was 11 to 8. So he does have more tank power, right? He does have that greater cavalry, maybe, that he's going to be able to make something happen. But I mean, look at this tank line from Clem. Even with the better tank lead, I think he just lost one right there. It's really hard to attack him with this core 4 out of Clem. So now, BattleB, he's getting aggressive. He's got his 5th base done on location. That's not something that Clem has. What I like out of Clem, assuming he survives the next minute or so, tries to stim on top of this tank, he's gonna get one. That does not feel worth it.
Christ.
Jeez. All the tanks are dead. +2 coming in for Clem right at the right time. Stim bio evaporating. But what I like out of Clem is, first of all, this drop is fantastic. But second of all, he's moving into the late game just a little bit faster. He's got the double starport. He's going to be able to build a ton of Vikings, Liberators, whatever you want. He's going to be able to take control of the sky. These tanks are going to get shut down. Well, maybe not. There are more tanks behind, but this drop in the main base is not something that BattleB can fight easily. Doesn't have +2 on these tanks. But Stim's on top. It's not going to get the medevac. So Clem doing a great job of forcing BattleB back home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good defense from BattleB as well, and actually Clem overextending right now, giving BattleB a little bit of a gift on the other side of the map. There's not enough Marines trying to take a safe haven near the tank in the back, but Clem not really biting us. Now there's another tank that's going to offer a better anchoring position for BattleB here. BattleB going to retreat out from the middle of the map as Clem now looking to continue to expand and match BattleB in terms of expansions with a 5th that's now landing. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 are the upgrades in total. Everyone has 2, and now BattleB just got his 3rd on attack for the bio. So a slight edge for him on that front as he moves everywhere via move. This is a great game.
It is, and I love, by the way, you talked about 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, whatever. I love that Clem and BattleB, their +3 attack finished just at the same time, and then their +3 armor finished 5 seconds later at the same time. As Clem's going to try to attack into here, but the pre-siege on the tanks for BattleB is not going to allow that to happen easier. Although scans make for a big deal, because I was going to say Clem doesn't have a lot of vision. BattleB tries to stim on top of this. These are +2 tanks. Here's Stim bio. It's getting exploded. BattleB, that's not a great opening. That actually isn't much of an opening at all. And even as we're talking about how BattleB has a bigger economy, he's up 1 base on Clem for the majority of this game. He doesn't have the worker count, right? It's 69 to 79. He's doing that same thing where he's trying to make up for in structures rather than army. He's going to swing it from the bottom side. A lot of tanks go down very quickly, but I like the arc for BattleB for right now. Knocks one of Clem's down, so he's going to hold the position. But again, despite BattleB having more actual bases to mine from, Clem's got the better economy.
I suppose he does. I mean, just ever so barely though, right? So BattleB should still have some time to stabilize. I don't think this is all said and done, but losing this command center, especially if he's unable to finish it, will be tough. So a little bit of a cancel there as BattleB continues to move out onto the map. Again, I think both players will have the opportunity to get maxed out. And that's going to mean for BattleB another opportunity to bring back this game, right? Like where we just saw a little bit of a supply deficit. You don't want to be walking into tank lines unless you're going to commit. And okay, he's going to take down the tank line entirely here, which might give him a good position at the south side of things, as he's now going to siege everything. There aren't very many Marines left, but there's enough to deter the Vikings from landing onto those tanks, as another couple of Marines fall, and now the tanks probably looking to spread a little bit better.
Well, all right then. I didn't like that, but I do now. He shuts down all the tanks bottom side. He gets his own tank siege. He's continuously scanning to see where the tanks of his opponents are, but not getting enough. And by the way, Clem +1 mech armor here. Of course, it benefits the Vikings, and Clem's building a lot of these Vikings to enable a Liberator count. But also, it does have, I'm not sure how the breakpoints on like +2 mech attack versus +1 mech armor in terms of tanks surviving or not. But it does help out a little bit. Certainly helps out against these Marines. And now STBs are going to get pulled. Vikings landed. BattleB's going to lose the bottom side. And now it is 2 tanks to 9. Army supplies are pretty equivalent, but in the counts of things that matter, 10 tanks to 2. Tons of Vikings to not a lot of Vikings. BattleB, well, yes, he does have a lot of supply. 59 Marine scats. Even if you're at 3-3 against +2 tanks, we've seen how fast they die.
The Marines or the tanks?
The Marines.
What about the tanks?
If you can get on top of them, I guess they die pretty quickly as well. But
They die pretty quickly as well. So there is yet hope, is what we're saying here, Biomov.
I believe in the hope.
That's the story. It's happening. It can happen, right? Like, it's doable. It's not undoable for BattleB. Like, granted, yeah, the tank count is huge for Clem, but there is an opportunity. There is an unsiege. There is a big arc at some point. There are counterattacks. There are avenues here for BattleB to still potentially cause a massive shift, a big upset. And it requires your belief, Biomov, as well as the people in the chat.
If you want BattleB to go and take down Clem and force Clem to a 1-1 scoreline to punch his ticket into a 2-0, post bread emotes.
Post bread emotes.
Specifically, dark German bread emotes, not baguettes. Right? That's very important. You can't spam this baguette to support BattleB. That's not how that works. Nice dark
No.
German
You
bread.
are spamming baguettes to support BattleB. Isn't that how that works? Because he wants the French bread, is what we concluded.
True, actually, yeah. Spam those baguettes to support BattleB or to support Clem, because that's what people do. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. Just spam baguettes, and whatever happens, happens. It's happening right now, in fact, as BattleB looking to posture deeper into Clem's territory, but the largest cluster of blue is also here, so you gotta be really careful if you're BattleB.
So if you look at this army setup, both players are maxed out. Both players are starting to build a bank. BattleB's taking the north side. He's gonna, I imagine that command center is actually gonna be a planetary because he had to move his orbital over, and you still want defense there. But BattleB sitting here, he's got a lot more Ravens than Clem does. That's the big deal, right? He's looking at 7 Ravens to 3. Clem's got a ton of Vikings. He's got these Liberators that ideally can zone for things. But if the Ravens get on top, I mean, tanks are just not going to fire. So BattleB is going to have this all-in fight, this really powerful setup where he just shuts all the tanks down, and maybe he's going to be able to make something happen. But it is it's a one-way trip, because the Vikings, especially here on +1 attack, +1 armor, they should be able to shut things down. So when does BattleB get that fight? Is he going to be able to find that fight? That's really the important question.
Yeah, for sure. And the win is also important, right? Because, yeah, if you have 7 Ravens and your opponent has 3, then every second that passes and you're both maxed out, your army is getting better because you're gaining energy on more of those key units. As this is a massive stim, at least he's going to get a command center for his troubles, but jumping the gun perhaps a little bit is BattleB. As now Clem, I mean, looking to interference matrix onto some of these tanks will allow for the clearing of 2 of them at least. And let's not forget also air control is on the side of Clem, very much so. BattleB looking to engage, but Clem will continue to creep on forward here.
And you know, air superiority is on the side of Clem. You're absolutely correct. 12 Vikings to 4. But BattleB is killing orbitals. He's making trades happen. This Liberator got 11 SCVs. Very, very nice. But the point here is, as we talk about this, is that technically BattleB, by losing these Marines and trading them out very cost effectively, killing orbitals, getting other infrastructure down, is buying more supply if he wants to get himself into his own level of air superiority. But for him, air superiority is not Vikings and trying to catch up in that way. In fact, he's not getting armor for mech. He's not getting air attack. He just doesn't want to opt into that play whatsoever. He's like, yeah, look, I got more supply. Cats bail. I'm going to build more Ravens because they're really good. So he's got 11 to the 7. 70 Marines on the map is a great thing. But against 19 tanks and anti-armor missile, effectively making these +1 armor Marines when the anti-armor missile hits, is significant. And by the way, notice BattleB, he's got his 4,000 minerals in the bank, 2,000 gas. He's starting to kill off his own SCVs. With the planetary, he's like, look, I want more army. What's he replacing? He's building more Marines. He's replacing his SCVs with more Marines. We talked about BattleBjorn. He's playing like Bjorn in the late game, just mass Marine against this more tech-heavy style.
Ton of Ravens as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if he can get the disable onto a lot of these tanks, right? Like, if he can get the disable onto all of them, then yeah, you want a lot of Marines to run in and actually bust through. Whereas, you know, you add more tanks, those are going to be much clunkier, much more difficult. You can't really contest BattleB in the tank versus tank battle right now, especially with the air superiority that he does hold, and the Liberators, which are a pain with that set air superiority as well to deal with in tanks. So I like what BattleB is doing here. I think he's giving himself a solid shot, and if he can find himself an entrance to any one of these bases of Clem where his army is not, I think that's what he's ought to do.
Yeah, the problem is so this is a lot of Marines, and you're right, they're incredibly mobile. They can play around the map if BattleB decides to play like that. So plus two tanks, 1-shot stimmed bio. They 2-shot unstimmed bio. If you're at 1 armor, which is what anti-armor missile makes happen, the Marines explode. You had 70 Marines, you had 90 Marines, is what BattleB has right now. Very quickly, you have 0 Marines. It becomes an incredibly cost-ineffective trade. So BattleB.
Did you see the spam in the chat? Is so great. Spam this baguette and whatever happens.
I love it. What I also love is, you know, Cats, we got Yamato cannon on the way. BattleB building 16 Marines at a time, and Clem saying, that's fine. Look, I got +3 mech attack, or +3 air attack, +3 mech armor on the way. Your entire armor is the color of a Dorito, so you really can't fight me. I'm gonna, once we make this next trade, once I'm no longer maxed out, I'm gonna build a ton of battle cruisers. And, you know, Cats, battle cruisers against Marines against battle cruisers are patently horrendous, but for now, this planetary is going to fall down. And even with building armor, high-tech auto tracking, who the hell cares? It's going to get shut down. That's a decent economic hit, but Clem has so much money on the map right now. BattleB has to run away. Again, these anti-armor missiles.
Oh, a lot of this Raven's exposed on side of Clem as well. He is bleeding.
Tank range. This is a...
Yeah.
Let's see another fight from BattleB. I'm looking at the supply, and like it feels like it should have been good, but it really is not.
Okay, he does move towards the tail end there, but yeah, what a beautiful fight there from BattleB. Just hold positioning his army to make sure that none of it goes further into tank range, and shaves off a few units here from Clem as well. He is a little bit down in supply, and Clem is creeping on forward, so this is very much a tough situation still for BattleB. And
yeah, where are our Ravens from BattleB? He just he's totally given up the north side. He's like, okay, this is I can't deal with this. The siege up is too powerful, so he's going to show up left side. They trade a base for a base. Clem loses this base, which was very fresh. BattleB loses this base, which is less so. It's mined, I don't know, like 40% of it.
No.
Bye-bye, SCVs. BattleB had 34. Now he's going to have 15?
That's nothing almost. Yeah, that's going to be tough. 15 if he kills those two. Perfect math there from BioMofas. Now BattleB looking for a big engagement, but that little bit of weird terrain in the middle is going to make it very, very difficult. However, he still gets the interference matrices onto all of those tanks, and that's going to be looking like it's enough for a little bit of a cleanup here. Guts has to focus one tank at a time as much as possible to mitigate for the damage, and actually BattleB with a perfect engagement, and that's going to be huge. I mean, if you look at the supply, it's very deceitful, as the army is actually in favor of the German right now, and the baguettes in chat seem to have been working.
Yeah. He's going to try. I love this. So this is a scary position for BattleB if he doesn't end the game run out. He's got no bank. He's got no money. 15 SCVs. Not a lot of setup. But he's going to get on top of all the production. He's getting on top of these starports. He's the natural up. He's going to maybe knock down +3 mech attack. If he can get into the main base, that's the big deal. But what do we have in the main? That really is the important question. We got 2 tanks right here. They've got +3. No, +3 was denied. They got +2. That is a really hard position to break into. So BattleB instead is going to try to take advantage of the map that he has. He knocks down a ton of production, knocks down the naturals, going to keep killing these starports. Clem right now, he's only on 4 starports. That's a broke boy. What are you going to do if you only have 4 starports?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna produce 4 units at a time, presumably more so if you have the reactors. But here comes BattleB charging into yet another planetary fortress. He does not care about the Doritoed up units for the time being, and defending the choke is a beautiful siege line as well. The tanks are now kind of exposed, but BattleB feels like he has enough, and he certainly does. He has a lot of bio now, and maybe he could have kept going and continued to try to breach into this main base, but instead he is just gonna take the south away, and this is, I mean, look at the supply right now. It's 169 for Clem, 114 to BattleB. Who do you think is winning this game, BioMolf? You have 1 second to answer. 1, you didn't answer. You lost. I think BattleB might still yet take it. I mean, it's close. It's very close for sure.
It is. Clem has so much more production right now. He's got so much more money. BattleB has to rely on tempo. Clem's building 5 Liberators at a time. He's building 2 tanks at a time. And yeah, BattleB's killed a couple, but he's killed 3 bases in the last minute or so. 4, actually. But he hasn't killed any of the mining bases, right? The 4th base had very little money. The 3rd base had no money. The natural totally mined out. And BattleB's now down double his supply. It's 150 army supply to 88. If BattleB hadn't lost those 30 SCVs, he'd be in a great spot. But he
I think so.
has He has no money. He's muling as much as he can right side, but I don't know how many orbitals he has. Although this is maybe a decent siege up here, trying to move on top. There's not enough Marines. This is not going to work out here. I don't think the Liberators are going to win this fight. BattleB, really nice try. Really awesome game, but Clem, he moves up to 2-0.